Hi guys, my name is Rudo, and as you know, I am a full-time stay-at-home crypto trader and investor. And this YouTube channel is dedicated to navigating those markets, those crazy markets together. What do we have? We've been looking at Bitcoin from a large time frame, and we all know that we have to look at Bitcoin every day before we go over to these alts, because Bitcoin does have the ability to rise the tide and make everything, everything else go up or down, irrespective of their own merit. So that being said, let's quickly have a look at this Bitcoin chart that I've got here. So this is Bitcoin on the daily time frame. I'm going to take away the RSI real quick. And what I tend to do is, and maybe let me take off the earphones because it feels like I'm talking in a bucket. So what I typically do is, or what I typically expect from now is that while Bitcoin is kind of figuring itself out in this range, we have the ability or the opportunity now that a relief rally is going to be coming our way. Okay, so a typical trend momentum would be, indicated by a little line like that, just like these lines here at the bottom, these gray lines, okay? And those lines have relatively no sentiment other than retail likes it. So when we go above the line, people tend to want to buy or feel comfortable buying. Now, when we had our Bitcoin sell off, this mass liquidation event, I always said to you guys, there's two ways to look at this. When you have this crazy wick be created, okay, if price immediately stays above it, okay, we tend to see a scenario where price can move back up and reverse. So then it's a reversal. But if we have these wicks and price immediately starts trading below it, that's typically a telltale sign that there will be a lower low. Okay, as you can see, there we had a scenario: wick, price stays traded below it, and then we're going to go lower. And the relief rally I'm focusing on now is this version of that. So we stuck somewhere in here, and we're going to be experiencing a little bit of a Bitcoin pump, okay? And then potentially go make a lower low. So for me, this is a really good time to buy, but I would suggest that it's a scalp or a spot type of buying, okay? And then we'll take it from there. We're not trying to get too crazy, okay? So there you have it. Let's head over to the comments real quick, and let's quickly let everybody say hi. About 70 people joining in live. Not seeing any lines, bro. That's weird. Are you sorted now? Let me know in the comments. You say there's an issue, you must let me know if the issue is corrected. Peter is in the back doing some magic with the screen, so it might have been that I've been on the wrong screen. Let's see what I've got. Hello, Dean. Hello, Mumel. Hello, guys. Okay, so everything else seems to be okay and in working order now. All right. So that said, where we are now, where and how high can this relief rally go? Now, the thing about technical analysis that makes it very easy to navigate in futures, you can look to the past to kind of have a really good estimate. And it's all based on that support and demand ratio, that typical negotiation. If I give you a price to sell something and you want to buy it from me, wherever our two price targets are meeting, somewhere in the middle, we both have this unwritten understanding that that's kind of what we were thinking, and that's where the negotiation tends to start. Okay, so if that is the case, what do we have? Let's switch over to the line tools, the easiest way. And what I will do is, for the sake of this color template, just change it white so you can see the lines nice and clear. Okay, and for me, the big thing is that there's a definite mark, a definite line where there's resistance. So Bitcoin could potentially push up to about 99 to 100. And that will give the alts a little bit of a relief and give them their relief rally. Okay. So for me, that's the time where I think a little bit of spot buying or spot trading would be sufficient. And when they move into their reload zones, okay, or their rebalance zones, depending on where you're at, it's a time to sell. And I'll show you those zones right now, Okay, so Bitcoin pushes back up to at least 99 to 100. Now, this is worst case scenario. Best case scenario, Bitcoin could even go a little bit higher to at least 101. So for me, if I want to bet against Bitcoin bull market, that would be a really good sell zone or a large time frame get out zone. Okay, so that's something to keep in the back of your head. Now, let's take this over to the dominance real quick and study the 2 days that we've got, a little bit of green 2 days. How is this impacting our Bitcoin? Okay, so at the top here, I've got the CME. The bottom here, I need to have the dominance. Let's load this chart rather. Okay, so you can see at the moment with Bitcoin rallying up, if I go to the daily time frame, okay, Bitcoin pushing up, okay, we have a scenario where the dominance has now already pushed up and is hitting resistance, okay, and that then could potentially mean that if Bitcoin goes to the best case scenario level that I marked out there, that's worst case, that's best case, okay, not that low, about 98, worst case, best case, okay. If that is the case, I would want to see the dominance break trend, okay, and that's the hope, okay. So while Bitcoin figures itself out there, the dominance starts breaking trend, and that will then give us the relief rally for the alts that we need. So as everything, there's an unknown quantity to trading and investing, and you need to bet on the potential that there's going to be something happening in the future, as opposed to trying to look at this and saying, well, it's not happening yet, you know, and then not doing anything. So if you don't have any skin in the game, it's never gonna happen for you. Okay, so there you have it. That's basically where I'm at with this. Now, the danger that I have with the why I'm saying relief rally, get out, and not just saying relief rally to the moon, is that there is these cautionary charts out there, like the CME, Bitcoin CME chart, where the idea is, what are we going to do? We're going to push back up to this level at 100K, fill that little gap. You can clearly see we're rejecting below it. We're kind of hesitant, price is hesitant to move in there, and then have that enormous mountain of open trading there that needs to get crossed, you know, and in order to do that, price needs to push down much lower. So there's a lot suggesting that this is going to happen before we're going to see Bitcoin at 120. So it's worthwhile then taking some time looking at these alts. Okay, alts like Ethereum. So if you have a look at our Ethereum chart setup, okay, I'm saying once we get to reach 3K, get out. This was the last time I was extremely bullish. Full disclosure, we had a nice buy zone at this stage. These 3 days I used to ladder in my BTC, turn them into Ethereum. Okay, I wanted to see that there's strength and confirm that there's there. And then I had a lovely weekend away thinking that I was a genius. And when I came back on the afternoon, well, we were sitting down here. So it never always plays out the way you want. So I'm not panicking, not selling. The demand zone was created. We've tested the midpoint of the demand zone on the daily time frame, and price is potentially going to creep up to at least 3K, which means, yes, I didn't quite, I won't get where I got in, but I can use this as, because this was a bad move, to rebalance slightly. Now, this is not something that should be done if you've got Ethereum from here or Ethereum from there, because it's all part and parcel of the bigger picture. I would still be holding them. It's just because of this. That's why I would suggest this. So everybody has their own starting point. So maybe you bought Ethereum here, maybe you bought Ethereum there. Anybody that bought Ethereum in the last, say, 5-6 months, all these guys, I would suggest considering taking some action, offloading something. And you can probably use this analysis for any coin that you've bought in the last, say, four months, on the basis that if we're wrong, what price is going to do is going to want to go make a higher high, beat that pivot, and then come back and rest on support, which would be this area. Okay, and then you can buy back and trade. And that's how you kind of mitigate the risk. So you don't do anything in a full measure. You don't get out completely and you don't buy in completely. You kind of sell a few, see what happens, and if it's there, you can buy back on the next retrace. Because the market can sometimes trick you and run a little further. Okay, so let's see what else we have. We also have the buddy indicator that can help you with this. Okay, so the buddy indicator from a weekly time frame has now flashed investment, hidden bullish divergence for Ethereum. So yes, it's a wide area, you know, if you're considering from 2.7 all the way to $2,000. but it is a valid area. There is divergence. It's a really good area to consider getting in on these lows. So a little bit of a rebalance. Price goes to about 3 grand, comes right back. That would make sense for you, because that in that move, this is ETH on the monthly time frame, okay, it's still at 26%. So give or take a 30% more ETH that you will have on the next one. Okay. The same then will happen with any of the other alts. So let's bring in those alts and look at that. While we do that, let's quickly see what we've got in the comments. It's very quiet. You can see it's crazy how quiet it is. Just there, we had a hell of a lot of people on the stream, and I haven't changed this. I don't know what happened. You know, the market's changed. Yeah, this is bear market again. This is how it was here. Well, down here, nobody's interested in buying the bottom. Truly, they'd rather want to leave because I didn't sell the right tops. Okay, so that's the trick. Okay, let's see. Baldy's here. Hello, Baldy. Let's see what else. Chowie Chow on Discord. I clicked I'm human, then nothing happens. Just says failed to change roles. Please help. Okay, so have you verified your Discord account? Because if that happens, you might need to just verify your account by making sure that Discord knows that it's a real account. Because what I tend to do is I am extremely strict when it comes to this, to make sure that those DM scammers, I delete them every day. Yeah, don't join. So if there is any additional issues, leave me a comment on the YouTube or reach out to me on my Twitter page. You're more than welcome to do so. Links is everywhere. I do not DM on Discord at all. So don't even try. I've got thousands of them, because it opens the can of worms, all the scammers. Okay. Now, how it will typically look as is this I'm human button. And once you click it and everything is fine, you should receive a frenemy role, which then will give you access to the navigation. Then you can start moving around. Okay. That's it. So Baldy, been following me since we gave that 50-cent Sui buy. Yes, Sui was a nice little move. So on the spirit of looking at those kind of coins, let's start doing that. So I hope that sorts your Discord issue. And remember, you can always reach out if there's anything else. Okay, so let's load Sui and look at the following things for Sui. So the history was brought Sui to you guys over here. We bought on a momentum that kind of failed. Then we had a rebalance. And this is exactly what I'm trying to point out to you guys. Okay, so we bought, the market went lower. I pointed out the rebalance, the green area where if you're in deep shit, you need to get out. And what happened was at that stage, Sui did go make a higher high. Okay, so, oh shit. Now what it does, it goes back and tests that area, because good buy zones or sell zones, if they fail, will then be turned into good buy zones. It's just the nature of the market. And then from that point onwards, everybody has been riding the Sui wave. Now, recently, I've been saying to the guys, you know, it's still bullish until what happens. So the simplest tool that you can use for that is to use your gann ray or gann fib. Let me just give me the settings. Come on. Is my internet now going, or is the trading view again acting up? I've been experiencing this now for forever, guys. I don't know, the last 4 or 5 days. There, it's finally coming. Oh, okay. So all you need to do is you use your fib speed resistance fan, okay, and you use the 38.2. And what you do is once you're in a coin and it's starting to trend nicely, all that you do is you take the one side of it and you keep tracking it. And once we fall below that fan, you start laddering out, okay? And then you use your fib level, your standard fib level, to buy the 38.2 and the 618. It's as simple as that. And then you keep tracking this like that. Once we fall below that level, boom, you get out. And the market is so kind, it will sometimes give you that, go to the scene of the crime. There where it loses it, goes and tests it, and then falls down lower. And then what do? Yet again, you use your fib, keep it simple, and buy the 618 and the 38.2. And that's where it's ranging at the moment. So this is still then really good. And I mean, I was warning you guys this area, this beginning of Jan, that it's bad if we start falling below those levels, which is what the case is for Sui on the daily time frame. Okay, so I think personally, considering the way the market is moving, that Sui needs to cool off a little bit. So if you think of it like this, market's always going to move in this same emotional market cycle. You see the cycle. It's always going to be exactly the same. It's never going to print exactly the same, and it's going to function in the same way. Okay, so when we look at this, we're here. Okay, so we broke the original trend, and the market has rallied up. Okay, so the market is to rally up. So maybe that was the high. Maybe we get a little bit higher, but that's the gist of it. Then Sui needs to die down. Okay, so my prognosis for Stewie is probably going to die down. Needs to consolidate above this cluster like it did there. Okay, consolidate above the cluster. This was an unforeseen shakeout. I mean, I get shit wrong. You know, market can sometimes, Bitcoin can turn around and throw easy fit, and things going to dump lower. There's no control over this. And from that point onwards, I think Sui's going to move. So Sui's probably going to be, what, a good 6 months, 7 months dead now. Maybe less, 4 months. And then it's going to have its nice move. Because if it moves from here, it's going to be short-lived. Let's rather put it, nothing's impossible to do. But if it does this, you damn well need to get out, because then you know the dump's going to be hard and severe. Okay, there you have it. So, Chawi, I hope that you're sorted, and I hope that, Baldy, your Sui is then in good management strategy. Remember, guys, not financial advice. I only show you how I navigate the charts. You, in the end of the day, you get the glory or the egg in your face if something goes wrong. I don't have any control over that. Okay, let's quickly see what else we have. Naka. There was a request from Renee. Renee, what was the coin that you want me to look at? I think it was Pyth, if I'm not mistaken. P-Y-T-H. P-Y-T-H, yeah. It was Pyth, correct? Let me know. I think it was that one. Let's quickly have a look at Pyth. Okay, so this is one of those scenarios where that was demand. We was hoping that it's going to hold, and that was the buy zone for the demand. Okay, and also this could be considered a little bit of a relief rally. But where it's at now, this thing is trending down bearish, and it's trending down bearish extremely strongly. Okay, so for me, worst case scenario has happened, and Pyth could potentially now start going into price discovery. So what is price discovery? When it went and made these highs, okay, let's invert the chart. It's exactly the same, but now it's going to do it in that direction. So the market is going to go through a scenario where when you look at the RSI, okay, it's going to start flashing strong bullish divergences each time. So the RSI is going to do this. As price is going to, remember now I've inverted it, but it's going to keep on doing these kind of things, giving you hope. Okay, so I just need to invert the RSI. I think I've drawn it now to a point where it might confuse you. I do apologize, but you get the idea. So it might have that scenario where it's going to give you hope and then go lower still until it moves. A really good example of that would be Luxos. Okay, we'll look at that now. So what do you do with Pyth? Same thing. Okay, it's now gone and created the pivot. There's an insane imbalance sitting right there. Okay, so use this imbalance, and it's already been there, and it could potentially now go and make a little bit of a higher high. Use that as your get out. Okay, so you take action zone. If you don't have any, or you're new to it, you bought the low, there's nothing for you to do. But if you're underwater with this, that's your action zone. Okay, there was this buy that failed, action zone. What did we do if it does go higher? It consolidated. Now, this was a little messy, but you get the idea. You buy back because we made the higher high, okay? And the same is in the plan for this one. Now, areas to watch. How high could the higher high be? And that's why you don't sell everything. It could be as high as that, okay, at 36 cents. Why? Because if we want to break hidden bearish divergence, break the bearish trend, price needs to do what? Make a higher high, okay? Needs to go above that area. So you might sell, and maybe the market surprises and runs all the way to 40 cents, but then it will inevitably come back. And that's a risk I'm willing to take if I was you, okay? Rather take that risk of being out of partly, never completely, partly out of the bus, because at a later stage, time is your friend. You can see there's always enough time. Secondary tests. The market is so kind, actually, guys. If you just give it enough time, there's always enough time to get close to where you wanted it. with maybe a slight compromise, and then you can take the ride further should the market turn bullish. And maybe it even if it doesn't, there's an unknown amount of new coins and other projects that you can diversify in that might be listening to the TA better than Pyth at that stage. Okay, makes sense. Let's quickly see. Stanko's asking about Naka, so let's quickly have a look at Naka. I'm going to go crypto. I'm going to go spot. Let's just filter the stuff right. Okay, there you go. Naka. Same story there. It might have already, the scary one with this is it might have already given you your cue to take exit, because you've had already what in Wyckoff terms is called an automatic reaction. So it's a low liquidity spike. So if we were to load the volume indicator, how I would kind of point this out to you is the market is exhausted to an extent. Now, no indicator is loading. So I'm telling you, TradingView, you suck. Come on. Maybe need to start using TrendSpider again. Come, load. Nothing is loading. Okay, there we go. Volume. There we go. Just straight volume. That one. Okay, not this one. Straight volume. So what you can see is as the market was rallying down, okay, your volume starts depreciating. And that's what's called an automatic reaction. So the market is so exhausted at that low. You can see at that low, there's nothing. So a little bit of buying, somebody trying to buy a little bit of the dip, then just kind of lets price run up altogether. And that's signs of the beginning of the end typically, but doesn't guarantee the end. Okay. So this is then the part that you need to kind of then learn to navigate again. It's just like this. Okay. It goes, makes a lower low, gives you a little bit of a hope of divergence, then goes, makes another low again, another hope of divergence. So it might go through a wave of something like this, where there was weak bullish divergence, okay? Then we had strong bullish divergence, okay? So it can stay wrong for longer than you can stomach being in it. And that's typically when good investments, actually, you end up messing it up because you don't understand that, you know, the TA is telling you it has to turn, but it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense, okay? And that's what a lot of people are going to be going through in this retrace. And this is typically how you're going to have to learn to navigate. Should we get a bull market and a full-fledged alt season, you're going to deal with exactly this again, because you're going to all of a sudden overnight lose 30%, 40%, and then I want it back, but and then you start fighting that versus the reality that stuff's still going to go down another 80%. Okay, so let's just mark the strong bullish divergence. You can clearly see it there, strong bullish divergence. Okay, so it keeps on doing that. And so what we're doing now is the exact same thing. So I expect that this was the relief rally. Will probably go down lower. The divergence is going to be a given, but it doesn't mean anything. It's the same as when we tracked Sui on the bull. You know, you mark this level out, say to yourself, okay, this is my pivot, my thou shall not cross line, okay? And realistically, I would want to see this thing move down there so I can have my divergence, okay? And then hopefully reclaim it, consolidate, and then shake out later in the past and then move on. But for now, it's so heavily speculative. All I can say to you is protect capital, okay? And the way that you need to protect capital is by understanding that, you know, that could have potentially be the relief rally. And if we go into that zone again, consider taking action there. Because even if we are wrong, it will come and retest. Okay? Consider taking action. Because if you're wrong, it will come and retest. Okay? And it will test. Good areas will get tested a couple of times. Okay? Makes sense, Stanko? Hope I did your Naka justice. Okay, let's see what else we have. Hello, Boris. Howdy to you as well, buddy. About 260 people joining in live. So the numbers are picking up. I'm very underwater with Pyth. I'm sorry to hear that, Renee, but don't look at it like that, okay? Because what was the end horizon? Yes, we all want to buy now and immediately get rich next week, but it just doesn't work that way. The larger forces, the accumulation and distribution on these things kind of need to take over. I mean, I've been laddering in on ENA now. Okay. Remember my original buy that missed? Oh, I was so sick of this thing. Everybody was making a killing, and I was just, well, I missed the opportunity. I've been buying in on this, okay? And on the basis that not for me the relief rally, but for me the argument is that accumulation, if this is going to be good, accumulation should start taking effect here. Now, I'm not buying with all my money into ENA, because the reality is, what if I'm wrong and this thing just does like Pyth does, okay? You have to have cash on the side. So Renee, Stanku, you guys, I'm going to ask you a simple question. How much of your portfolio do you have in coins? You need to have at least 30% in stable, or use these rebalance zones with the market and when the market gives them to you to try and get to that, so that you can buy the limits and the bottoms. And then in the future, the rule, like we did with Kamino and all these, once it doubles your money, okay? Once it doubles your money, I mean, we bought all these here, doubles your money, sell half, so the rest of the Kamino is for free, okay? And you can look to the next project. Okay? Because at the moment, there's not a lot of coins that I can go and say, right, guys, buy this one, and then next week we'll come and celebrate together. It's just not the nature of it. But you can see, look at these. They're wanting to find an end. So if you were to compare this one to the original Pyth that I showed you guys, if I can quickly switch to, let's see if I can quickly add this thing just here, just as a example, so I can switch between them. Okay, I'm gonna remove it and add it so it jumps up there, that I can quickly jump between the two. Okay, so there, we're in that situation where this is potentially happening with this kind of coin. Okay, so we're reaching that. TradingView, I'm telling you, TradingView is broken, guys. They did an update. They must have, because stuff isn't working. It's crazy how this thing has just become so unstable and everywhere. Okay, so we're getting that situation where the RSI is there, and we're getting that bottoming feature. Volume's coming low, people getting quiet. So it might be the exact same version of this. Okay, I won't say that, because this one obviously is a new coin, has to go through an accumulation first. Okay, so keep an eye on these kind of things, because damn it, they're going to make you killing. Because just from there to there, if it just goes and makes a higher high, it doubles your money immediately. So if you get a good buy on this, think about it. If you not take some of that money that you were willing to leave with Pyth, okay, leave it with Pyth and let it turn to shit because now you've messed up. You need to take your punishment. No, you don't need to do that. If you wait for a good opportunity here, you can easily take that 10% of what you had, after you sold 30% of it, okay, and put it in there. And if it doubles it, you can get out. Let the rest ride, because then you've got free. That money is there for free. And you can do that again and again. And slowly but surely build yourself back up. Because the fact that you've down, or a lot of you guys are probably down in some sense, doesn't necessarily mean the game is over, guys, okay? You first learn to lose. Then after a while, you start understanding these macro cycles. And then once that starts happening, you tend to start saying, okay, yes, okay, I didn't quite get the low. It's okay. Time is your friend. Why? Because crypto is going through an insane adoption curve. If this was normal tech stocks, it's a completely different picture. But because there's an adoption, there's new people joining the crypto community daily. And that brings consistent new free bailout money for you. Okay. So the new guys are basically bailing out each and every newbie of a few months back's bad decisions, if they just give it enough time to stabilize and to play the larger cycles through. Larger cycles like these cycles. Let's go to this chart. I'm going to go weekly time frame. Larger cycles like this. Okay. So remind yourself of these kind of things. I'm going to switch this to logarithmic so that you can just see what it is I mean. Okay. As the adoption happens, each halving all-time high, each halving all-time high, there's new people, and we're still statistically, what if I'm wrong and it never happens? We still are far way off from it's the end, okay? Because remember, between halvings, statistically, your top is at the 38.2 time fib, okay? And your bottom's at the 618. It's been like that now for 9 years or even more. So who's to say this is not going to be the same? Okay, makes sense? Right. Do you think Say can run now, overtake Sui? Well, I hope, because I've got some Say. But at the end of the day, the market just is. So it can sometimes be tricky. So let's have a look at Say. But before we do that, I just want to do a quick friendly reminder. Today's video sponsor is Blowfin, guys. Now, what you can do is you can open your own Blowfin account. Okay, you can go buy some Say there and some spot coins there. Okay, then you can head over to my Discord, and if you can get past the human notification area, you can go to either the buddy indicator button, or you can go to the partnerships and click on the Blowfin deal. And what that will do is it will actually give you access to, for doing that, for signing up and using Blowfin. I'll give you access to my automated buy signals in the Discord. I'll give you access to the potential harmonic screener, which gives you support and resistance levels on everything that all the top trading altcoins, the divergence scanner, and the buddy indicator. I'll show you what the indicator can do for you as well. Okay. Plus, it unlocks some of my HODL reports. Okay, so there you go. Typical HODL report once a week. We've restructured it. You ask your questions, you get your chart, you get your layout, and you get what you need to do so you don't end up feeling in the dark. And that's at no cost to you. Come on, guys, you don't get a better deal like that. So support the content, make it happen for yourself, and turn the next one around. Okay, so let's have a look at Say. There you go. Say, there we go. So Say at the moment pushing up. Now, will it outperform? I don't know, because this initial run was immense. Okay, where Sui didn't quite do the same. I mean, Sui, we were running at a 300% on its first pump. We Say already went up 1,000%. But if I were to choose between Say and Sui at the moment, I would choose Say. Why? Because for me, although Sui didn't have an insane pump, it had a little pump and then another pump that went really well. Okay, Sui might be sitting in that. Meaning, if I were to take a bottom high FIB 618 area, we just broke through and lost momentum. And Sui still needs to go and hurt more people, complete the emotional market cycle where denial, panic, and those things need to kick in. So my personal opinion is I would rather consider something like Say, because it's now done that. Okay, this is the disbelief rally. Look at where the most volume was spent. Let's quickly do this. Okay, there's a hell of a lot of volume, and there's a hell of a lot of volume. Okay, what is that telling you? If everybody loses money, okay, and only a few makes money, it means where the most volume is, the most loss occurred. Okay, so if I take that then and I correlate up and say, okay, right, that volume started there and that volume started there, it means that the majority of people bought here and bought here. So the minority and those that have the most money, they accumulated here. Okay, and they're going to keep on buying the losses. People give up and say, oh, I'm in the wrong bloody thing. I should have been in the meme coin that just went up 10,000%. I'm an idiot. And then they sell a good good target because it's not moving, and then end up just seeing later on the thing pump again because we're impatient. We want it today. That's human nature. I mean, I'm talking about myself. I'm not trying to pull this over to you, but I know what the mistakes I made in the beginning. When that one is pumping, I feel like a piece of nonsense because why am I not in it? I'm supposed to be better than this. Okay. And that's typically what happens. So this thing has now punished a lot of people. And those people are what? Have they sold? Well, I think they pretty much did because we're getting in a relief rally. So the supply has now been absorbed by the big players. So there's a relief rally. So what will this one do? Probably go into that zone. It's roughly in it, okay? You sell some. And if you're wrong, it will do what? It will delete hidden bearish divergence, okay? Which is already there. So price needs to go make a higher high. And then once it's done, it will come and test this area. And then you're much closer to the next big rally because it's gone through accumulation a couple of times now, as opposed to Sui that's just beginning to get the punishment. So yes, my opinion is Say is better than Sui for that reason. Okay. Safe. Let's have a look at safe. Let's see what safe is pointing to. Safe. And there we go. Boom. Let's have a look at safe. Okay, so safe isn't safe. Okay, same thing. It's the same thing now, guys. So remember, this was the area there where I wanted this thing to hold on by its fingernails, okay? And if it didn't, what needs to happen? Now, these little gaps, guys, are always going to be there. It's the same as there. There's that little gap. See, when that sell-off happens, this is how the market can become extremely predictable, because the human emotion or the human condition doesn't change. Okay, so there it went. It went past that level. Oh, shit. Okay, then it rallies. It gives you that little bit of hope. You get out, because if you're wrong, it will go and test it. Okay, there, tests it. There's the test. Goes. Okay, so you have to give this thing time and patience. Okay, this is September. That's October. It's a month later, and then only it started giving up. So where it's at now, it's probably also already been there. It's done its thing. I don't know. Maybe you get a second opportunity. This trend line, when trends like these get broken, you tend to have a splashy little affair. When the market will say, "Okay, right, boom." Okay, well, there it is. It's already done that. So now it's probably going to hurt a lot of people. Well, the trend broke. It's supposed to go up, and then it's going to trend on the other side of the trend. Okay. Find itself a floor, create strong bullish divergence like they always do, okay? Find itself floor, create strong bullish divergence, and, keep thinking and trapping people in on the bad ones when they should have just got out. And this thing can do this and run this. And what if Bitcoin goes to 80,000? How much lower do you think safe is going to fall? So you only ever have now. You never have the future. So now you need to make a decision based on this. It's close enough. If I free up some cash, I can at a later stage benefit from the dip. If I stay in it, I don't have any opportunities. I can't act on any of the new possibilities that the market's going to bring our way. So it means that I can just stop. And that's what we don't want to do. Okay. So you always want that cash so you can have access to the new opportunities. Because yes, you're never going to get them all right. But if you wait and you play the game right, in time, the opportunities coming away. Okay, so there you have it. Safe. Feeling a little bit bought high, so I will hold on. Don't hold on. Don't hold on. I can be wrong, Renee. Remember now what I said. I can be wrong. What if I'm wrong? What if this thing then just goes all the way? There's a rebalance zone. We've been there. Maybe it goes there again. Okay, but the risk lies with you to weigh up the options. But if this thing does what safe does, goes like this now, and then starts doing that, okay, how's your hold on going to help you? Because now, say you have $1,000 at what, 20? Now you're going to have $500 by the time we get here, okay? What if we go all the way there and you have $100? Also, he's historically really good at deleting profit. so much they give, as much as they can give, they can take us 1,000. They can give you a lot, but they can take net just the same amount away. So remember that. Okay. Thanks so much for taking the time, guys. It's about 300 people joining in live. I really appreciate you guys spending some time with me. Reach out to me if you can't get through the barriers in the Discord. I tried to make it as tough as possible to keep the DM scammers out of the way. And if that is one of you guys' problem, you can't get access to it, let me know, okay, by dropping a comment in the video or anything, and then I will go and investigate. I'm not a tech guru. I just try my best to try and keep the scammers away for you guys, okay, so that the Discord is quiet and at least safe. There you have it. So there's everything. That's everything for today. If you want more, join the Discord, join the community there, and we can have it there. Thanks so much, guys. Remember, not financial advice. I can only say what I've learned and what I would do and, the experiences I did. It's all on you in the end of the day. It's a free, open market, and that's the beauty of it. But it means that it comes with this responsibilities. That's all on your shoulders, not on mine, guys. Okay. So there you have it. Hopefully, tomorrow and next week, we can start switching the momentum of this discussions with me saying, get out, sell, sell, sell. We can turn this into some positivity, okay? Positivity like maybe Bitcoin can surprise us, okay? Because everybody wants this. it doesn't give us this, okay? And it breaks through, and we can turn this into a buy and maybe say goodbye to this pipe dream, similar to what we did down here. I don't know if that's going to happen, guys, but similar to this. Remember when we were here, I was looking for that as the buy. It just never happened, okay? It broke through, came down, and I was like, just wait, it's going to come. And then it never came, okay? So, take things level by level, and then I bought back like an idiot where I sold. Okay, simple as that. I had to because the market's running away from me. So hopefully that happens, and we can get in on a runaway market as opposed to sitting in on a market that's dying on itself. You have a lovely day, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.